everyone, depending on where you are. Welcome to our 2024 Pa'ao Special 2-Day Dharma teachings. Today and tomorrow, we're honored to have Venerable Sayadaw Kovida to teach on the essence of Bojhanga Sutta, the Enlightenment factors. We're also honored to have UVEF and America Bhavana to co-host these 2-day talks. The teaching is scheduled for 1 hour, including Q&A. We're using simultaneous interpretation Zoom functionality for today's teaching. Please select your preferred language interpretation language channel now. If you have any questions, send it to Zoom chat room. Thank you for your cooperation. May we now invite Sayadaw to start the teaching and interpret the Bhantes and interpret Dhamma friends to start the interpretation, please. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, now we will pay homage to the Buddha before we start giving Dhamma talks. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahatu Sama Sambuddhassa Araduma Sambuddhassa. Actually, today we have to talk about Bojhanga Sutta in brief. The Bojhanga Sutta is very long, mostly in the meditation retreats. I talk about 2 weeks retreat mostly. In 2-week retreat, I choose Bojhanga Sutta. Maybe I'll have another topics. But today, this is a special condition, so I have to summarize all the things from Bojhanga Sutta. So first, we have to know what's already called Bojhanga. Sati Sambojhanga, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. Dhammavijaya Sambojhanga, the enlightenment factor of investigation of dhammas. Viriya Sambojhanga, the enlightenment factor of effort. Piti Sambojhanga, the enlightenment factor of rapture. So among these 4, from the second to 4th, this is one group when we are going to develop. So you must remember these 3: Dhammavijaya, Viriya Sambojhanga, Piti Sambojhanga. So mindfulness is always needed. So we have to make 2 different groups of Bojhanga. So 2, 3, 4, the first group. Again, we have Passaddhi Sambojhanga, the enlightenment factor of tranquility. Samadhi Sambojhanga, the enlightenment factor of concentration. And Ubhaka Sambojhanga, the enlightenment factor of equanimity. These 3 are of Bojhanga, although we have 7, right? We have to divide into 3s in each group. Mindfulness is always needed. So I should elaborate all the Bojhanga one by one. Also, I should also explain how to develop the Bojhanga. Sati Sambojhanga, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. So mindfulness is very common, but we have many different usage. Sometimes we also use as awareness, remembrance, or unforgetful. Whatever term we use, we cannot say is it really called sati, right? Because sati is a Pali word. It will be deeper meaning. So sati we will call asamosana, non-confusion, non-delusion. We also have like a tila sanya, firm perception, strong perception. Another thing is we also satipatthana, foundations of mindfulness. They have mentioned the proximate cause of mindfulness is satipatthana. So sometimes we may have a good remembrance or good memory, we also have bad memories. When we're trying to recall good things, we can say it's a samasati, right concentration. If we recall bad things, bad memory, it can be called mithya wrong mindfulness. So let me right mindfulness or wrong mindfulness. It can come from good and bad things. So right mindfulness is sati, but wrong mindfulness is called perception, sanya. That's associated with unwholesome deeds. When we are going to develop sati Bojhanga, we also need some special conditions. So sati exercise is also really very important. If we don't have habit of awareness or mindfulness, we cannot be mindful. We must make new habits. So 4 things lead to the arising of the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. 1. Sati Bojhanga. Having mindfulness and clear comprehension. Okay, mindfulness. I have already talked about mindfulness. It must be right mindfulness. So we try to recall good things to make our mind peace. This is called right mindfulness. So we don't need to recall bad things too much. If we recall bad things, just regret, remorse, guilty, this is not that much useful for our improvement. Okay, sati. What kind of things should we recall? We have many recollections. Recollection of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, morality, charity, generosity, all the divine qualities. Then we also have recollection of death. There are many, many recollections we can do to beautify our mind. Now here we also mention Sambhajanya, clear comprehension. The clear comprehension is really very, very wide. So first we must know is it beneficial or unbeneficial. This is the one thing. So we must choose only beneficial things. If something unbeneficial, don't do it. So this also we can say. Now this is suitable or unsuitable. Okay, I will give one example. We may go to the monastery. Then we have to consider if it will be beneficial or not. Beneficial means can we improve our spiritual quality, such as we can gain faith. We may have more stronger morality, also stronger efforts to meditate, or moral shame, moral fear. If we can improve some spiritual power, spiritual quality, we can say it's beneficial. Then although it's beneficial, we have to check is it proper time or not, suitable or not. Sometimes it will be very crowded. So when it's very crowded, when we go there, we may see many different people, we may have to listen to many different people, it can distract our minds, we cannot improve our concentration. That is why when we are going to visit it, a pagoda, or a monastery, or a temple, or a senior bhikkhus, or anybody, we must consider it is beneficial or not, the first one. Second one is the suitable or not. If we just go there in suitable conditions, if it is suitable, then it will be very effective for our practice. For example, funeral. If we go to the funeral, so male should go and see male dead body, female should go and see female dead body. So although we are going to see the corpse and the funeral, we must choose suitable corpse. It will be useful for our practice. So this means suitable, unsuitable. This is also really very important. Now there's a Gojara. Gojara means results. We can also say domain sometimes. But anyway, when we say Gojara, we have to understand it is the environment. When we go for Vedapata, our village must not be very far from the monastery, not very close to the monastery. So if very close, we may see the noise, we may hear the noise from the village. They can disrupt our practice. That is why it should be just far from the village, but not so far. It must be enough distance to go for Vedapata. But Gojara also means meditation subjects. we must be with meditation subjects all the time. This is called Kojara Samajanya. So in the case of Samajanya, we must make habits of knowing meditation subjects as much as we can. When we have more habits of knowing meditation subjects, it will be easier and easier for us to improve. Otherwise, we cannot improve. Then again, we have the last one, Asamha Samajanya, no confusion. Okay, in this case, it will be a little bit wide meanings because not that easy and simple for beginners. Asamha Samajanya means we must be very mindful in every single posture. Here, we have many different things. For example, when you are going for Beta Bada, we wear the rope. Wearing the rope is like a wrapping with a bondage. Then we may have bowl for Beta Bada. Bowl is just cup for medicine. We wrap the bodies are full of worms. That's why we wrapped with the bondage. Now we need medicine, so we just use bowl to cure sickness from this body. So we have many different types of angles, many different view of practice. Whatever thing we use, we must use wisely. This is the one thing. Another thing is like we can say daily activities. So we must know all the nama rupas in Vipassana. This is what Asamoha Samajanya. So it will be very wise. That's why I cannot explain in detail here. Okay, now the first one, Sati Samajanya means we must have mindfulness, we must have clear comprehensions. Clear comprehension means we must be aware of our conditions. We can improve or not, suitable or not. If we say benefit, it must be useful for our improvement. If we say suitable, it must be supporting cause of our practice. If there is no supporting causes, we cannot improve. Then again, we have next one. Mutasati Bukala Paribachana. The avoiding of person with confused minds. This is also one of the problems. So if we associate with confused people, then we have to listen. Their doubts, their confusion. Although we explain, they will still have confusion. We are not sure whether we can remove their doubt or not, their confusion or not. We are not guaranteed. Right? So I have met many people that they have a lot of doubts. They ask, I have already given answer. Repeat the same answer, the same questions. Sometimes the way they expect is a little bit different from my explanation. I also understand. Sometimes they just need my approval of their wrong idea. Okay, if we have to be with this kind of people, we cannot improve our meditation because there are a lot of confusion. Okay, for example, confusion of morality, confusion about morality, or doubt about morality. So we can explain according to Vinaya rules, it's okay. Confusion about meditation. We can also give special guidance for meditation instructions according to the subject they are practicing. Then sometimes the confusion of trainings, 3 trainings. Is it morality useful? Do we need to practice samatha? Do we need to know nama rupas in detail? We have many confusions, many doubts. If we have a lot of confusions, then we are not sure. Right? We can overcome it. Or if somebody has too much doubt also, we are not sure they can overcome or not. But sometimes that we can have, it will be useful. Sometimes all we have, they are not ready to improve. Then we cannot do anything. So multi-city popular parivajana is also important if we associate with that kind of people. Their confusion will affect our practice. Then we cannot improve anymore. Then again, we have Upajita Sati Bukala Sevana, association with the persons who keeps mindfulness ready for application. This is also important. Okay, when we talk about association, then we also have to know we must emulate the way they practice, the way they are mindful. If we cannot emulate, not that much useful for our practice. For example, I'm here very close to Pao Sayadaw. Now I'm in Nepal, not very far from Pao Sayadaw Kuti. Although I'm very close to Pao Sayadaw, if I don't follow his practice, I cannot improve. So that means association doesn't mean close relationship. Association just means follow the way they practice. Imitate them. It will be Upatadasati Bukala Sevana, associating with a person who keeps mindfulness ready for application. Sometimes the way they practice will be impressive for our meditation. When we are practicing, it will be very impressive. We may be more diligent. This is also important to have good association. Okay, if we summarize, so far we have 3. Sati Samajanya, mindfulness and clear comprehension. Second one is Motasati Bukala, Parivajana, the avoiding of negligent people, we can say. Third one is Upatidasati Bukala Sevana, associated with mindful person, mindful people. Then the last one is Tatati Modata, inclination towards mindfulness in any posture, but also willingness to improve mindfulness. So when our minds always incline to mindfulness, then we can be mindful. So we also need to be willing. If we are willing to do, we can do. Sometimes we don't have willpower, although we are trying. Although it takes very long time, we cannot improve. Then we must do it willingly. So whatever subjects we are using, whatever meditation methods we are using, then we must be interested in it. We must be willing to do it. It will be easier for improvement. So that means our mind must incline to mindfulness all the time. So you have to recall your conditions. So these 4 are the way to develop the Enlightenment factor of mindfulness. Again, we have to move the next one. Dhammavicaya Sambhojjhanga. Dhammavicaya Sambhojjhanga is similar to wisdom. So we must investigate or analyze the Dhamma. Okay, one more thing. Sometimes we have a wrong analysis or improper analysis. What does it mean, wrong analysis? For example, we may have anapanasati, right? Even this morning retreats, somebody asks, right, this breath is made of the cell or something, right? Is mentioned like that. Actually, when we are going to analyze the breathing like that, it will be very messy. We cannot know clearly. We will get confused. So Dhammavicaya means we must analyze proper things in the proper way. This is called Dhammavicaya Sambhojjhanga. That's why I say it's like a wisdom. Wisdom is like the light. When we have the light, then we can see all the visible things clearly. Similarly, when we have wisdom, we can know everything clearly. It can be any meditation subjects. It can be any kind of namarupas. It can be any kind of cause and effect relationship. It depends on our wisdom. The stronger our wisdom, the clearer our vision. So when we are going to develop Dhammavicaya Sambhojjhanga, we also need to know basic things. 7 things lead to the arising of this enlightenment factor, the enlightenment factor of investigation of Dhammas. 1. Parivojhakata, inquiring about aggregates, bases, elements, faculties, powers, enlightenment factors, noble paths, samatha, vipassana. So there are many unclear points in the practice. We have to inquire. We have to ask many questions if we have unclear part of the practice. For example, when we talk about samatha, anapanasati, or kasinas, Then there are some points we have to clarify. For example, how to make a sinner object. How far from our face should we keep? How to look at it, how to visualize, how to maintain. There are many points we have to know. Ancient time, when bhikkhus are learning meditation from the Buddhas or their teacher, they try to remember everything by heart. All the naughty passage or all the difficult parts, they have already learned by heart. So when they encounter difficulty, they can solve by themselves. They don't need any teacher. But now modern society is very messy. Many teachers teach many different methods, many different approach. Then people get confused. Sometimes many people also say samatha is not necessary, right? But actually, if we don't have samatha, we cannot purify our mind. Okay, the main thing is, Paripuchakata means when we to improve Dhamma, we must ask proper question. Right? Aggregates, what's really called 5 aggregates. Bases, we have 12 bases, 18 elements, 5 faculties or 22 faculties. Path knowledge, you have already know the 4 paths. Then samatha subjects, vipassana subjects. So in every single practice, there's a difficulty. Without difficulty, we cannot improve. When we improve, we have already overcome many difficulties. This is the way of life, the way of practice. That's why we need to know many things. If something unclear, we have to ask. This is also the way to improve Dhammavicaya Sambhojjhanga. Hutuvisara Kriya, the purifications of bases. So here in this case, we have 2 different types of vatu, internal and external. Internal means not inside our body, only the body, right? Not heart or mind or anything. So that means we must wash our body. We must make our body clean. For example, for the bhikkhu, if we don't shave our hair a long time, we may feel itchy. So shave hair, cut the nails, fingernails, toenails, all the things can be considered as vatu. Another thing is external. External means we may have our living place, our rooms. We have to clean our rooms. If there's a bad smell, we cannot focus well. We cannot meditate well. That is why we have to purify. That means internal, external. Internally or externally. That means our body or our property we are using. So this is also the basis of Dhammavicaya Sambhojjhanga. So why is it like that? This is only external. Why is it concerning with the meditation or inside knowledges? Why is it concerning with wisdom? Actually, we have one simile. Now here I use then in the picture I just show the lights, right? One lamp. If the wine is unclean, the flame also unstable. That means flame also not very bright. Certainly wick is not very pure. The flame cannot be very bright. So if wine is also very refined wine, also the wax is also clean wine, then it will make the flame brighter. Similarly, if we have internal external bases pure, then we may have brighter wisdoms, better wisdoms. This is actually just supporting cause of wisdom. Okay, we have another one. Indriya Samatha Paripadhanata, imparting evenness to the 5 spiritual controlling faculties. So everybody know 5 controlling faculties. Saddha, faith, confidence. Sometimes we have very strong confidence, very strong belief. Okay, here when we talk about saddha, that means it must clarify our minds. Sometimes when we believe something, we get confused. So we must clarify our minds. That's called saddha. So saddha also can make our mind pure. We can also say confidence. We have one Pali words because satta timaka, decisions are determined. And we can also say another one, determined faith. So when we have this kind of faith, it's easier to improve. Okay, one more thing. Sometimes we determine because of confidence. Sometimes we determine or we decide something because of mana, pride. So if we have very strong decisions by faith, in this case, it will make our mind clear, not that much problem. If we determine or decide something by conceit or pride or arrogance, it will make our mind confused. It will make our mind a little bit impure. So satta is one of the things we have to clarify our minds. It's make our mind clear, purer. Then, like a clean water, we can penetrate everything easily. Then this is the call satta. Again, we have three types of satta. Sorry, we have adhikama satta, religious faith. So agamana satta, religious faith. Mostly bodhisattva may have this kind of faith, this kind of belief, very strong confidence. They will never give up. Then again, adhikama satta, acquired faith. Mostly when we say adhikama satta, that means after attaining path and fruition knowledge, we have this kind of satta. Their minds are unshaken. In other words, okapana satta, determined faith. This kind of faith is really very important for the practitioners. We can also understand as unshaken faith. So that means when we have already known something, we believe in it, our minds are unshaken. It's not because of mana. It's just because of clear mind. Sometimes we believe something, but we also make very strong decisions, very strong determinations, but it makes our mind unclear. That means because of mana. So in the case of Akapana Satta, it's a determined faith, unshaken faith. It makes mind clear and pure. The last one is a Pasada Satta, inspired faith. This kind of faith is unreliable. There are many people, they believe very easily. Right? Even yesterday, Dhamma talk in LA group, the meditation retreat. Then one of the yogi asked, can teacher read other people's minds and give proper instructions? He has this kind of question. I just say openly, right? Don't believe that kind of people. Don't believe that kind of teacher. Right? That means people are very easy to believe. That's why many people can cheat them. Pasada Satta. So if we have that kind of Pasada Satta, so we can be cheated by teacher. We can be cheated by our Dhamma friends. Then we may believe everything easily. Oh, there's Arhat. We go to the Arhat. Relax, we believe easily. We don't reason. We don't have any reasoning. Is this possible or impossible? Is it right or wrong? We don't consider. We believe easily. This is called Pasada Satta. Okay, this one is we can say blind faith sometimes. So when we have a satta, then we also need to improve another factors. Okay, sorry. So we also have like after satta, we also have viriya, efforts, then wisdom, panya, the mindfulness, sati, concentration, samadhi. When we are going to talk about balancing or imparting evidence to the spiritual controlling faculties, sadhana and panya, we should balance these two. Sometimes we have very strong faith. We are not very wise. And we will believe easily. There will be side effects. We cannot improve. So sometimes because of confidence, it takes very long time. We believe wrong people, wrong traditions, wrong practice. Now I'm also in Nepal. They say they have been practicing very long time, cannot improve. More than 10 years already. They are experiencing the same things every day. that they want to improve. Some Sutta with wisdom, we can improve. Sometimes we have very strong wisdom. We can analyze in many different ways. We know many different things. But if we don't have Sutta, confidence, we will be wicked person. We may have wicked minds. It's really very risky. If somebody has wicked minds, and if they have wrong idea, wrong view, it's like a sickness caused by medicine, very difficult to cure. That's why Sutta and Panya, we must balance these two. If we cannot balance, there will be very big side effects. Then samadhi, concentration, and viriya, efforts. We must balance these two. If we cannot balance these two, when we have very strong concentrations, weak efforts, we may fall into Bojhanga states. It cannot unconscious. The mind become blurred. We cannot know any particular object. Then we may have very strong efforts, weak concentrations. Then we may have a lot of restlessness. The more we struggle, the more we have thoughts. So we must balance these two, Sutta and Panya, concentration and samadhi, concentration and efforts. If we can balance these two groups of controlling faculties, then we can improve. We can also develop Dhammavicaya Sambojhanga. We must know which ones are excessive, which ones are weaker. We need mindfulness, awareness all the time. Drupanya Bogala Vivachanata, avoiding of ignorance. Okay, here ignorance means very, very many different things. Do panya, here do mean bad, panya means wisdom or knowledge, bad knowledge. So actually now in modern community, many people are trying to present something, trying to explain something, trying to share something. But some of sharing are not that much useful for the people. So yeah, do panya, bad knowledge, bad wisdom. Actually, if we say panya, we cannot say bad. Right? Here, because of wrong idea or wrong intentions or bad intentions, it become bad. So we must avoid people who has lack of knowledge. That means they don't have any inside knowledges, they don't have any practicing knowledges, they don't have any practicing experiences. If we follow their way, then we will get lost. So one more thing here, in every single enlightenment fetters, we may have two things all the time, three things all the time. The last three, bad association, good association, inclination. These three. So this is a bad association, Dupanya Bukala. So that kind of living beings cannot have our practice. That kind of person cannot have our practice. So we should not associate with that kind of people. So Banyawanda Bukala Sevanata, associating with wise. Okay. This one is a very, very wide meanings. When we say Banyawanda, according to different texts, different suttas, you may have different explanations of Panya. We can also say different level of Panya. Now here, when we talk about Panya Vanta Bukala Sevana in the case of Dhammavicaya Sambojhanga, that means he must be able to explain the Udayabhaya Jnana, the knowledge of horizon and perishing. So we have very many explanation about horizon and perishing is the meditation, knowledge of horizon and perishing. When we go and study Masatipatthana Sutta, then we can find Samudaya Dhammanupasiva Kasmi Viharati, Vaya Dhammanupasiva Kasmi Viharati, Samudaya Vaya Dhammanupasiva Kasmi Viharati. We have this kind of explanations. We must have that knowledge. What does it mean, Samudaya Dhammanupasi? There are 25 ways of discerning Samudaya Dhammanupasi for the 5 aggregates. In every single aggregate, there are 5 conditions we have to discern. Past causes, present causes, the arising stage. Okay, I will give one example. In the case of material aggregate, we have past causes, avijja, ignorance, craving, right, tanha. Then also we have upadana, clinging. Not only that, we also have sankhara, karma. These are called 5 causes. So we also have present causes. For example, in the case of mind virtual materialities, then mind will be the present cause. Temperature will be present cause of temperature virtual materialities. Nutriment will be the present cause of nutriment virtual materialities. I just give one example. It will be very wide, very much in detail. So sometimes you may get confused. Okay, if we say briefly, I'm not explaining 25, right? If I say briefly, there are 25 ways of discernment in arising stage. Samudaya Dhammanupasi. Similarly, in the present stage, there are also 25 ways of discernment. If we talk about Samudaya Vaya Dhammanupasi, there will be 15 different ways. We have to combine both rising and perdition. 50 rising and perdition. So when somebody has this kind of knowledge, this kind of practice, is called Panya Vanda Bugala. So it will be very little people maybe, right? In our modern society. So if we can associate with that kind of people, we can learn from them. Actually, why I also have to think about this one again and again. Why would I say this one like Samudaya Dhamma Vaya Dhammanupasi is very important? Later, I also realize we may have impurity of inside knowledges. I think you may have read some part of inside knowledges in Udayabhaya Jnana, when in the knowledge of rising and perdition, then we have impurity of imperfections of vipassana, like the light, rapture, tranquility, happiness, mindfulness, equanimities, and so forth. So they become very strong. Now we misunderstand we have attained path and fruition knowledge. So when we encounter all these things, we can also overcome by practicing 25 ways of rising stage, 25 ways of perdition stage. Then this also one of the effects, one of the benefits of practicing. That's why I think this one is easier. This one is for overcoming impurity. Then we can understand he's wiser because he has already overcome impurity or imperfections of vipassana. So we need this kind of association. So association means, I have already said, not close relationship, learning, emulating, imitating. Then we have the next one, Gambira Jnana Jariya Bachvakana, reflecting on the profound difference of how to perceive process of aggregates, modes or elements, sense bases, and so forth. There are actually many profound teachings in the suttas. So we have to reflect on the profound Dhamma. Here we say aggregate. Although we say 5 aggregates very simply, but not that simple. For example, material aggregates. There are many different types of material. They will arise together, they will perish together. They will work together. Then they have different functions, but they are in the same klabas. So we have to know all the things. That this is called material aggregates. Right? For example, we may have hardness, roughness, heaviness, softness, smoothness, lightness. If we have one of them in the one particles, this is the earth element. It also functioning. to be foundations of other materialities. They will arise together with other materialities. Different functions, different nature, but they can work together. So we have to know all the things in detail. This is called how to perceive. Profound Dhamma. Similarly, when we say elements, basis, including Four Noble Truths, not that easy, right? Although we say Noble Eightfold Paths, it's not that easy, not that simple. So we have to know all the things. We have to reflect on all the things in order that we may understand clearer. This is also one of the way to develop the enlightenment factor of Dhamma investigation of Dhamma. Tata inclination towards development of enlightenment factors of investigations of mental objects. Okay, here we just say inclination. But in reality, we must have willingness to develop Dhamma. Sometimes we grasp something, some of our idea, some of our knowledge. When real truth knowledge comes, we are not ready to accept. We grasp something already in our hands. If we don't release, sure, we cannot grasp new things. We cannot catch new things. So data means if we have better things, we must be ready to accept. This is called willingness. So Dhamma is just analyzing, investigating. So we must investigate necessary things. Like I have said, aggregate. We can analyze. The more we analyze, the more we get deeper. Actually, now I'm in Nepal, in Himalaya. Previous retreat, and recently I just finished one retreat here. Then there are many questions. Almost all of them are new meditators. They have a lot of questions. Right? For example, how to understand seeing as a seeing? Then, okay, how to understand seeing as seeing? It should be very simple, right? Seeing as seeing, but not that simple. Okay, seeing. What do you see? What is the object? When we see something, our eyes must be good enough. Okay, according to Bidama, we don't have eyes. We just have materialities. What kind of materiality in the eyes? We may have body translucency, eye translucency. We also have the sex materialities, and we also have temperature produce, mind produce, nutriment produce materialities in the eyes. Only eye translucency can be influenced by visual objects. So eye translucency also cannot arise alone. It will arise together with 9 other materialities. Then we have to analyze very much in detail. This is only eyes, right? Similarly, color. What kind of color it is? For example, when we see flower. According to ultimate reality, it's not flower. It's only materialities. It can be temperature produce materialities. So we have to analyze everything. So it will get deeper and deeper. So that means when we say Dhamma Vicaya, we must analyze proper things properly to understand deeper. This is called Dhamma Vicaya Bojhanga. So if we analyze unnecessary things, it will be very confusion. And for example, breathing and breathing out. If we try to know very much in detail, you will get confused. Don't analyze. Make it simple. Okay, that means there are something we have to know simply and naturally. There is something we have to analyze to understand deeper. If we can analyze wisely, we have Dhamma Vicaya Bojhanga. Okay, now the next one, Viriya Bojhanga. So when we talk about Viriya, we have to understand 2 different things: mental energy and bodily energy. We can also say mental efforts and bodily efforts. In Bali, we call Kayika Viriya, Cetasika Viriya. Kayika Viriya means bodily actions or body efforts. Cetasika Viriya means mental efforts. So we must use our body efforts and mental efforts properly, wisely. It will be right efforts, samavayama. If we use something wrong, it will be miccha vayama, wrong efforts. Here, when we are going to develop the enlightenment factor, it must be right efforts. So we have many different types about efforts. The first one, to stop the old habits of unwholesome action. We need our energy, old habits, right? So that means you may have a habit of smoking. It's not that easy to stop smoking. You need a lot of mental energy to stop. When you have habits of taking an intoxicant, alcohol or something, not easy to stop. You need a lot of mind power to stop it. When your mind power is weak, you will keep doing the same mistake. That's why it's also important to have very strong mind power to stop bad habits, old habits. 2. To prevent oneself from unwholesome actions one has never done, we have never done before. There are many, many bad things we have never done in this very life. Of course, in the samsara, we have done all types of unwholesome deeds because we can be the silly one anytime, any conditions. So we must prevent ourselves from wrong actions we have never done before. For example, if you have never tried intoxicant, don't try it. If you have never smoked, don't try it. We have to protect ourselves from doing wrong things. So for this kind of thing also, we need a lot of energy. Sometimes, for example, like in my case, some of my friends are smoker, right? They also say, can you try? I have to reject. Some of my class, they choose Peter quit, and then you may not know Peter quit. In Myanmar, we have this kind of culture. In Nepal, India also they have this kind of culture. Tree and Peter nut and Peter quit. Peter quit means Peter leaves, Peter nuts, and many other ingredients on it. They make, after that, they choose. Right? This is actually a habit. Anyway, then some of my friends have this kind of habit. They also give me, can you try one? I will reject. So that means if we don't know how to say no when we are going to do something wrong, then sure, we will have many, many new agusala. We must be polite to say no. We must be polite to reject something. At the same time, we also need very strong mind power, very strong mental energy to reject. Then again, to maintain the wholesome action. So we have now many good habits. The habit of meditation once a day or twice a day. We have to maintain this kind of wholesome actions. We may have daily chanting, okay, make habit of chanting. Maintain that kind of good habit. This is also important. If we cannot maintain, sure, we will lose everything. Then the last one, to improve the wholesome actions or to do the wholesome actions one has never done before. So now, if you have never tried anapanasati, okay, try it. If you have never tried kasina, try it. If you have never tried to know namarupa, try to know it. There are many new things we have to do. In the samsara, there are many good things we have never tried before. If we are trying all the good things, we have become arhat. I cannot keep tamato to you. You're going to see me also. And we cannot be human being anymore because we have done many agusala, we have done less kusala. So that means there are many new things, many good actions, good speech, good practice we must follow. We must do it in order to improve our spiritual power. So for all these 4 types of efforts, we need body energy. We also need mental energy. If we use our body energy and mental energy wisely, then sure we are improving. If we are using our body energy and mental energy unwisely, that means we cannot improve. We are lower and lower. We will degrade ourselves. Okay, so now to improve Vidya Sambhojhanga, the 11 things lead to the rising of enlightenment factors of energy. There will be very many things today. Fortunately, in this morning, I have a little free time. The one, Abhaya Bhaya Bhajava Kanada, reflection on the fearfulness of states of war. Okay, particularly in our community, in our environments. We have many different living beings, many animals, many insects, many human beings. Even we human beings, there are among many human beings, there are many negligent people. They don't have right efforts. Not only that, they have more wrong efforts. Then we can say this is very risky for them. If we don't have right efforts, where we remain in the hell. Right? That's why we must recall the fearfulness of fourfold states. So if we have that kind of recollections, we may have more right efforts. Right efforts more and more. It will be easier to improve. Not only that, in the hell, they cannot meditate. It's very clear. Okay, among the animals, we can see they cannot meditate. That is why we have to be diligent as a human being. We have opportunity to meditate. Then again, we have a second one. Anisansa Dasavita, the seeing of the benefit of energy. Okay, in your environment, in your community, you can see many diligent people. They become smarter, then they are successful. Why they are so successful? Actually, they have efforts. So then if we have efforts, it will be beneficial for our improvement. We can be successful in our practice. Actually, this kind of things not only for attainment, but also in worldly achievement, worldly success. All the success, all the achievements come from efforts. So those who have very strong efforts will achieve very great things, like Buddha. He was so diligent that he could attain Buddhahood. So we have to understand that we have to recall the benefit of energy, the benefit of right efforts. 3. Gamana Vichi Bhajva Kanada, reflection on the path to be trodden. Okay, now what's the path we are trodden? The Eightfold Path. Right? The path to liberation. The path to emancipation or wisdom. So sometimes we have to set our goal and we have to recall our aim and our goal. To attain Nibbana, sure, it will be very far from us. Sometimes when I have to give interview or when I have to give some instructions about reviewing or recollection, I just say, Nibbana is very far, don't think about it too much. Just think about the other one. When you focus on the breathing, just think about nimitta. If you think nimitta is very far from you, just think about focus on the breathing for 1 hour, I mean for 20 minutes at least. So just trying to set a goal, okay, trying to focus on the breathing 25 minutes, 30 minutes. If you can do well, okay, determine longer than that. So if we have our aim, our ambitions, our goal, just recall that one. Do you see that one? We need efforts. We need energy. We need proper practice. Otherwise, we cannot achieve anything. So from time to time, we have to recall. What is our aim? What is our purpose? What is our ambition? Then 4, Pinda Bada Bhajanata, the honoring of alms. This is for meditators and for ordinary persons. Actually, if we are practicing well, it will be beneficial for our devotees. The stronger we practice, the more beneficial for our devotees. That means their donations are not wasted. They are supporting good people. They are supporting good practitioners. So in the case of Akusala also, we need Akusala shareholder, right? Even a few days ago here, we have some discussions about Sila morality in Nepal. Then they ask many questions about wholesome actions, especially 5 precepts. Okay, well, I just say very simple things about killing. We ourselves kill living beings. Then this is very clear already. We command or order or suggest somebody to kill. This is also killing, aribata. Then we agree with them. When they are going to kill, they will ask our agreements, our opinion. We agree. This is also killing. Then when seeing somebody killing, we may feel happy. This is also breaking precepts. We are Akusala shareholder, right? So that means we may support, we may encourage, we may agree, we may feel happy with them. This is we are supporting. In the case of Yabina Bhajayanata, at the time, donors are supporting co-practitioners. They are Kusala shareholder. Then he supports, happy with it, agree with them. That's what we call, this is it, beneficial for the donors. That's why Pinabada Bhajana, that means honoring of alms. That means honoring the donors, we can say. So we just practice for the good ourselves. It's also beneficial for our devotees. That means they are supporting good people, right? Then 5. Dayaja Mahata Bhajavakanata, reflection on the greatness of heritage. What kind of heritage do we have? The one I wish his disciple to accept Dhamma heritage. The Buddha does not wish his disciple to accept material heritage. So if we wish to get many material from our parents, then if we have to have some heritage from our parents, we have to be clever, right? We must follow their rules and regulations. Similarly, if we wish to get Dhamma heritage, we must respect the Dhamma. We must respectfully practice the Dhamma. So it's a very great things. For example, Nibbana, very great things. Let alone Nibbana. Just talk about inside knowledges, strong enough. We can purify many defilements. Then, okay, if we are very far from Vipassana, then think about jhana. Now we can also purify defilements. Okay, if jhana is very far from us, just think about peacefulness of the mind. When we can meditate well, we can feel peacefulness, calmness. It's very valuable. We cannot buy. We cannot share with anybody. If somebody share with us, so we cannot get it. We have to do by ourselves. This is our belonging, our personal. So we have to recall the greatness of heritage given by the Buddha. If we wish to have greatest one, Nibbana, Arhataship, sure, we must be more diligent. So this is also important for the meditators to recall. Okay, Satu Mata Bhajvakanata, reflections on the greatness of the Master, Master means the Buddha. So we have to think about greatness of the Buddha, how great he was. Actually, when he was practicing, you have already know, skinny and bony, very intelligent, viriya, very strong efforts. He had very strong willpower, very strong body energy. Although his body became very weak, his mind is still strong. He could practice whole day, whole night. Then after that, he changed his system, Noble Eightfold Paths. At the time also, he was very intelligent. Then that's why he could attain Buddhahood very easily. Right? Okay, that means the first around more than 5 years, not that smooth and easy, right? Because in the wrong path. After 5 years, when it's very close to the 6 years, then he changed his system. He could attain Buddhahood. This is greatness. Actually, there are many things we can recall it about the Buddha. For example, when he was born, very well known, very popular. Similarly, when he renounced, when he attained Buddhahood, when he started giving the first discourse, when he entered Pranidhana, it's very well known. It's very great occasions. Then we have to recall the greatness of the teacher, especially the Buddha. Then we may be more diligent. Then again, Jati Mata Bhajavakanata, reflection on the greatness of race. Here, race means the lineage or descendant. So we have many generations, many asatas. For example, my teacher, teacher's teacher, right? Then great grand teacher. We have many teachers up to Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana, Venerable Mahakassapa, up to their time. So long time descendants. Our ascetics are very smart, very great. For example, Venerable Mahakassapa. He could lead the first Buddhist council. He can maintain Buddha teaching. He can organize all the teaching very well. The greatness of our ancestors, right? This is called Jati Mata Bhajavakana. Another thing is Sabrahmacharya Mata Bhajavakanada, reflection on the greatness of fellow Dhamma friends and holy life. As I say, Venerable Sariputta and many other great people. Because Sabrahmacharya. Okay, one more thing. Brahmacharya means noble practice, good practice. So from the Buddha time to until now, we have many Brahmacharya, many good practitioners. We must recall the greatness of their practice. For example, Venerable Sariputta, he was very great in wisdom. Not only that, very humble. Also very intelligent. We have to recall how intelligent they are. Venerable Mahakassapa, very intelligent. Venerable Mahamoggallana, very intelligent. Venerable Ananda, very intelligent. We have to recall how intelligent they were. Then we can also improve our efforts. Another one, Kusita Bukkala Privachanata, the avoiding of lazy folk. That means we should not associate with lazy people. Right? We have many excuses when we are lazy. Right? So I will say only one example, right? It's too hot, I cannot meditate. Too cold, I cannot meditate. Or too hungry, I cannot meditate. Or I feel full. My stomach is heavy, I cannot meditate. It's too early, I cannot meditate. It's too late, I cannot meditate. We have many excuses. So this is just for meditation. Not only that, for learning also, we have many excuses. I don't wish to learn this, I don't wish to learn that. Even for our duties, we have a lot of excuses. I have met many yogis from many different countries. Some of them are a little bit funny. They say, I just like easier way to practice. Then, of course, there are many easier ways to practice. Breathing is very easy, natural, simple. But the more difficulty is they don't know how to be simple, how to be natural. This is really very risky. Then they also say, I just like, the scanning all over the body. This one is easier for me. Okay, it will be easy, but for improvement, you need systematic, right? So sometimes we are lazy. We don't want to change. Then we don't have mind power to change. Then sure, we cannot improve anymore. Kusidami, here we just say lazy force. If we say lazy, that means lack of efforts, lack of energy, no mind power. We don't really want to use our mind power. We don't want to use our bodily energy. This is called laziness. So if we associate with that kind of people, it's very easy to emulate them. That we will become lazy easily. Oh, their lives are very free, very easy. Sure, it's very free, easy, but no more improvements. Another one, Arata Viriya Bukala Sevanata. The associating with folk who have begun to exert efforts, whatever conditions, journey, sickness, activity, or famine. So that means they may have very strong efforts, whatever condition they have, because they are on the journey. They will not give any excuse. I'm tired, I should rest. They will not have this kind of excuse. They are energetic to continue meditating. When they come back from the journey also, they don't have any excuse. Oh, I'm very tired on the journey, I should rest. Right? No excuse. Okay, they are energetic to meditate. Similarly, sickness. When we have sickness, we cannot meditate well. But when we recover from sickness also, our body is weak. But no excuses, just meditate. Whether we are sick or just newly recover from sickness. Activities. Sometimes we have many activities, very big projects, then very big events, we will be busy. We cannot meditate. Although we are busy with many different things, then if we don't say any excuse, just meditate when we have spare time. This is called diligent people. Famine, okay, this is very clear. We don't have enough foods, right? At the time we must have sense of urgency. We must meditate more. This is also important. So these are the person who has very strong efforts. So they are ready to overcome all the difficulties. They are diligent to face any difficulty. They are brave enough to face any difficulty of body energy. They are making proper efforts. The last one, Tadati the inclination towards the development of enlightenment factor of energy. So that means our minds must incline to Vidya. All the time, we can improve. We must have a willingness to develop enlightenment factor of energy that we can improve. These are the way to develop the enlightenment factor, right? It's more than 1 hour already. You may have some questions. Then, okay, one more thing. Tomorrow I have to finish all the enlightenment factors. It will be a little bit faster than now, right? Okay, so you may have questions. Tomorrow, if I don't have enough time, maybe you may have less question. And today I'm okay. Okay, so today we have already finished Sri Sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. Dhammoja Sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of investigation of Dhamma. The words have Viriya Sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of energy. So I also have already explained how to develop. These are beneficial for the practitioners in our daily life. That's what I share with all the meditators. So may you all be able to practice the Buddha teaching, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and no suffering.
Sadhu.
Okay.
Sadhu. Sadhu. Thank you, Sadhu, very much for your teaching today.
And you may have a question.
We passed the hour. Do we still have time for questions, Sadhu? Okay.
顶礼霞多，请教在实践禅修中，什
Okay,
么
okay.
情况下强调七觉之平衡合适？什么情况下平衡五根更恰当呢？萨度萨度萨度。
Okay, what is it in English?
Shadow, can you hear?
No, I cannot hear.
Yeah, Shadow, can you hear Bande Dhammadasi?
No, I cannot hear. I cannot
Can
hear.
you
Check
switch
the
to English channel instead of original? Shadow?
Okay, English channel. Okay, sure. Okay. English channel. Okay, I can hear now. Okay, I can hear. Okay. So for about the 5 faculties, then I have already mentioned 2 different groups, right? Saddha and Panya. Saddha, you want to have very strong confidence. Then you must have reasoning. Sometimes you have a lot of analyzing, you have a lot of doubt. Otherwise, you must try to have confidence. Okay? This is when you encounter this kind of difficulty, now that is a concentration and effort. When you have a lot of thoughts, then that means you have a lot of excess efforts. The more you struggle, the more you have effort. Sometimes you have very strong concentrations. You cannot maintain your concentration, but in an effort, you may fall into Vama state. So in this case, you must balance 5 controlling faculties. In the case of 7 Bojhanga, we have only 2 conditions. I haven't mentioned the first group, the first 3, right? Dhammavichaya, Viriya, and Piti, the first group. Sometimes when we are lazy, now our mind is not that much active, then also we are unwilling to enlightenment factor, one of the enlightenment factor of Dhammavichaya, Viriya, and Piti Sambhojhanga. Sometimes our mind is so active. At the time also it causes some side effects. We are not very smooth in practice. So if we are so active at the time, we have to develop 3 other enlightenment factors. Tomorrow we have to continue, right? Passaddhi, Samadhi, and Upekkha. Okay, if we summarize 2 conditions, the first one is not very active. Second one is so active. According to these 2 conditions, we have to develop 2 different groups. It doesn't mean you have to discern all the 3s. It doesn't mean you have to develop all the 3. You must develop only one of the 3. Is it good enough? Okay. Next one.
Thank you, Sado. Any more questions? Okay. So from Anami Sado, if a Vipassana Yanika wants to contemplate another's mind as anicca, dukkha, anatta, does he need to have abhinya or really see another mind using samadhi? If he does not have abhinya, how would he practice vipassana on another's mind?
Okay, quick question, right? Okay, here we have to talk about external. Because Vihita object, external. I think you may have already known 11 categories of 5 gates: past, present, future, internal, external, and so on, right? We have 11 ways. So here, when we talk about external or internal, then there will be different domains of practitioners. For example, the Buddha. The Buddha can knows individuals, the Namarupas of individual living beings in many thousand universe. So he could know everything in detail. This is the Buddha. But we have Pacceka Buddha. Pacceka Buddha cannot know very much in detail like the Buddha. He could know only the middle lands, Majjhima Desa. Living being in the middle lands, he could know Namarupas of middle lands. Like Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamukkalana. who has very great quality. So they could not know individual Namarupas or other living beings, the Namarupas of individual living beings. They just know general Namarupas or other living beings. So we can say general, not in detail. Right? General Namarupas. So here in the case of Upasana Yanika, that we are ordinary people, we cannot know other people's minds. We just know general Namarupas or other living beings. Right? So when they will have akusala, they may have this kind of mind. Right? We can know it. Only general Namarupas. That is why it must be just general. We cannot say individuals. If somebody say, I can read your mind, or I can know your mind by inside knowledge, it's a cheating. Okay? So one more thing, Vipassana Yanika and Abhinya are two different things. Abhinya is just for Samatha Yanika. Vipassana Yanika cannot have Abhinya. Okay? Then another question?
Okay.
5 question. Okay.
Sadhu, I need to refresh. There's a question there. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Let me refresh the slide. Yeah. It's still not there. What's the problem? Derek, can you read it from the chat? For some reason, my slide doesn't show up. Sorry for the inconvenience.
The question is, Vandami Sayadaw, can Sayadaw please explain a little about the balancing of, oh, actually, that was wasn't that the previous question? It says a little about the balancing of the balance. How do we know when we're in balance? That's the question.
Okay, sure. Okay. For example, if you have a lot of confusion, you don't have Sutta. You have Sutta has gone already, right? At the time, you must develop Sutta. Sometimes you have a lot of analyzing, you have a lot of doubts. That means you need Sutta at the time, right? So you have lack of Sutta. Sometimes you may believe many different things, but not very clear in your mind. That you may need wisdom at the time. Similarly, concentration and efforts. Sometimes you make a lot of efforts. The more you make efforts, the more you have restlessness. At the time, you must balance your concentration. Relax your mind. More focus naturally. When you can concentrate well, you may have less efforts, then you may have less restlessness. Another thing is, when you have like very strong laziness or drowsiness, at the time you can understand that you have very weak efforts. Sometimes your concentration becomes stronger, but your effort becomes weaker. At the time, you may feel lazy, or you may fall into Bojhanga states. You may be like unconscious, and you can know you have very weak efforts. Okay, so then you must have awareness. If you are aware of your conditions, you can balance well. Okay, next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Next one is in
西亚多，观知染是每位修到生灭智的禅修者都要解决的问题吗？萨度萨度萨度。
Okay. So it already mentioned in the practice. And as long as we are practicing correctly, as guided by the Buddha, we may encounter all the impurities. We cannot avoid it. Okay? Everybody must encounter. So if somebody say they don't encounter any difficulties or any impurities, then they are cheating. Right? So there are many ways to overcome impurity also. There are many ways to practice. Okay?
Vandami Sado, Suki Hontu, good morning. Please Sado's advice. This is my experience. A monk said, can maintain mindfulness with music. Is it, can say, confused about Sila? Sado, thank you very much. Necessarily may maintain.
Of course, this one is not really very good thing to do, right? Actually, many people, they like chanting with the music, right? For example, metta chanting with the music. Right? Like a very nice sound, very nice chanting with the music. So we don't want to command this kind of things. As you understand here now, right? Sila. In the case of Sila, it's Nachakita Warita. That's why we must not listen to any music purposely, intentionally. If we can overhear when going somewhere or on the train, on the plane, or anything, anywhere, it's okay. We don't go there for listening, right? Just go for traveling. In this case, it will be exception. But for mindfulness, we don't need music. If we have music, this is also not really good mindfulness. Okay.
Okay. I believe there was one, or should we go to Ante? I think it's very late for you. Should we begin to save the questions for tomorrow?
It's okay, no problem. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. If there's some question, you can do it. Some question are here, right?
What's the question?
I think there's a question on site. The Pandit Dhammadasi will interpret after.
Sure. Okay. So that means when you feel too much drowsy, that you can keep your body straight. It will be easier for you to overcome. This is the one way. And we also have another way. You can open your eyes slightly, then keep on breathing. This is also okay to overcome drowsiness. Then sometimes, sure, because of food, you may feel drowsy. Then there will be limited time. For example, you may feel drowsiness for about half an hour, up to 45 minutes or something. After that, not that much drowsy. Your mind is fresh. You can meditate normally. This is the one way. Then there are also another issues. Sometimes some of the foods cause drowsiness too much. It can be haughty also. It depends on what kind of food cause drowsiness. You must remember, right? Okay, so you must check what's the cause of drowsiness, because of weakness of the body, or you have less sleeping at night, or because of food. If you can know the reasons, it will be easier for you to solve the problem. Okay, so there are many ways to solve drowsiness. Okay.
Thank you, Sado.
There's one question. Okay.
Okay. So one of the questions in the chat says, during sitting meditation, I want to use 32 body meditation method to overcome my hindrance, that's desire. However, I cannot visualize the body part. Please briefly advise how to practice the 32 body part meditation. Can I use other method? For my case, I'm familiar with 4 elements and metta meditation to overcome desires. Thank you.
Okay. when you have a difficulty to visualize 32 body parts, so I should recommend just trying to visualize the first body parts, right? Head hair, body hair, teeth, nails, and skin. We can know, we can see, right? This is outside, exterior body parts. It's easier for visualizing or to feel repulsives. Okay, mostly when I talk about 32 body parts for Samhita orientation, I just talk about head hair as an example. In the head hair will be nice, beautiful. When you see a thread of head hair in the soup, how do you feel? Just changing the place, it becomes repulsive, right? Similarly, body hair, you can also imagine the same. Skin. Sometimes we have dry skin, we tear off, right? Just throw away, we don't keep it. So that means we have to think about external things for you. It will be easier for maintaining, right, to overcome desire. For about the 4 elements, I don't recommend if you don't have any teacher around you, but when you have some excessive elements, you may encounter many difficulty. So you can also use other subjects. For example, like a saliva, right? We can see saliva. We swallow our saliva, we don't swallow other people's saliva. We feel repulsives. This kind of things is very easy, right? Another thing is like a urinating or defecating. This kind of thing also you can recall, you can visualize. You can feel repulsives, right? It depends on the condition you have. You can choose many different methods. So for beginners, it's not that easy to know all 32 body parts. As long as you can feel something repulsive in your body or in other people's body, is it good enough? Okay. The next one.
Okay. Pandemi Sado, is it okay to keep 10 precepts as a layman on weekend? Sadhu.
Yes, I highly recommend it, right? If you wish to do, it's highly recommended. You don't interfere any financial management for 1 day, okay? Don't interfere in any financial management. Even don't talk about money. It will be easier. So trying to do 1 day or 1 week or something. This is also possible. But when you take precepts, it will be different from ordinary persons. For example, when the Samhita take 10 precepts, they may chant Aham Bande Tisrena Saha Dasa Samhita Papacha Silang like this, right? But for lay person, it will be a little bit different. Aham Bande Tisrena Saha Dasa Gahata Silang. Remember this one. Dasa Gahata Silang. It will be easier. You can do. I recommend this kind of things. Here in Nepal, recently, we have some lay ladies and laymen kapiya here, laymen meditators. They're also trying to undertake 10 precepts. I recommend. It's okay. Then, next one.
Yeah, next one said to keep 10 precepts as a layman if I have money inside the house. Am I breaking rule?
Okay, one more thing, right? In the case, okay, well, I should say one example. I should say that my great grandmaster, we can say, right? My teacher's teacher and his disciples. Actually, it was started. We can say the donor of the monastery. He didn't do any business. He didn't sell anything. He didn't buy anything. And somebody come to buy something from him. He will not say anything. At the same time, he will not buy anything. Okay? Because the main thing is this is your property. Keep it in your house. Don't touch. Don't manage. In the case of Patigahana, okay, we have 3 Patigahana. Chadarupa Rajata Patigahana, right? Patigahana means we accept or we ask somebody to accept for us, or we agree somebody put nearby. So we don't reject when somebody put money nearby, right? For offering. This is called accepting money. So in your case, you don't ask anybody to accept money for you, or you don't accept money, you don't say anything, you don't buy anything, you don't manage any, you don't have any financial management, right? So we can say you can take 10 precepts. It's not breaking precepts. Okay? Although you have money inside your house, it's not breaking precepts. Even for bhikkhu, actually, one more thing, for your information. Even for the bhikkhu, we have a rule and regulations. For example, the donor come to offer money, and we reject it. But he changed the plans, right? Or he just say along the way, Bandi, I just want to offer you along the way overseas. Is there any place I can keep? Any safe place or secure place I can keep? Then they can show the box or the cupboard or anything, right? You can keep there. We can show, but bhikkhu must not touch. Okay? So even for bhikkhus, then time donor come, they will keep their money for offering. Right? It's allowable as long as we don't accept. One more thing, if something is unallowable, we cannot accept. When they say, I'm to offer money, we can say no. If they say, I want to offer allowable overseas, we can accept. But we don't have a kapiya. Then he may ask why he should keep overseas. We can show the place to keep. Okay? That's why in your case, although you have money in your house, as long as you don't manage it, it's okay. Keep observe 10 precepts. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Sayadaw, so much. I think you have already given more than 30 minutes after the hour to answer questions. So much. Can you, may you lead us in making aspirations and sharing merits, please? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Okay, now we'll chant, right? Idame punyam
Idame punyam
asawakaya
asavakaya
waham hodu
aham hodu
idame punyam
idame punyam
nibbanasa
nibbanasa
pacayo
pacayo
hodu
hodu
mama punya bhagam
mama punya bhagam
sabbasatanam
sapasatanam
bhajami
ajemi
te sabbe
te sabe
me samam
me samam
punya bhagam
punya bhagam
labantu
labantu
sadhu
sadhu
sadhu.
Thank you again for Sayadaw for your teaching and for the interpreting from the Bhante. Sayadaw, please feel free to leave Zoom at your convenience. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu.
And if there's any further suggestions or inquiries, please feel free to email us. And thanks to our co-hosts, UBEF and America Bhavana Society. Thank you everyone for your time and participation. See you tomorrow, the same time. May all be well, healthy, and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.